Lace-making was a challenging craft that kept her fingers nimble and her mind sharp, while Douglas saw it as a dainty lady's hobby that gave his wife something to keep her hands busy before she became occupied with a growing family. But in the Duncan household, all was not work. On mild Sundays, Douglas would drive them in the buggy west along the Pecan River, or north to the village of San Marcos, or east across the San Antonio Road to the Blackland Prairie. Or they might take a picnic basket to the spring where they spread a blanket in the shade, ate Annie's fried chicken, and enjoyed the breeze while Douglas played his guitar and sang. His father and mother had come to America from Scotland, and he loved the old Scottish ballads, Highland Mary, My Love is Like a Red, Red Rose, and his favorite, which always brought tears to Annie's eyes. Maxwelton sprays are bonny, where early falls the dew, and it was there that Annie Laurie gave me her promise true, gave me her promise true, which never forgot will be. And for bonny Annie Laurie, I would lay me down and die. Annie hoped to give Douglas the son he wanted, but it had taken many months to conceive. While she was waiting, she continued to make lace, such beautiful lace that, while at first she gave it away, her friends and their friends soon clamored to buy it. Douglas wasn't a man to be offended if his wife brought in a little extra money doing something she enjoyed, and he allowed her to keep what she earned. It gave her great pleasure to use it to buy little things for the house and for Douglas and herself. A white silk parasol, for instance, that she trimmed with frills of her very own lace. But Annie was impatient to get her family started, so one afternoon, shortly after their 3rd anniversary, she walked down Crockett Street to call on Mrs. Jane Crow, who ran a boarding house on the next block. A plump, kindly woman with brown hair pinned up in a shaggy knot, Mrs. Crow had hung a sign on her porch rail, "Herbs and Herbal Remedies for Sale." She grew a great many herbs in the garden behind her house and sold them to Mr. Jackson, the village pharmacist, and to anyone else who came to her with a request. Annie found Mrs. Crow sitting in a rocking chair on the porch with her knitting, a kitten playing with a ball of yarn at her feet. "What can I help you with, my dear?" Mrs. Crow asked. "I'd like to buy some herbs," Annie said. Her mother was dead, and her aunts lived far away, but she remembered hearing them talk about plants that were useful to women in their childbearing years, plants that could help you conceive, or could help if your monthly was late, or too heavy, or too scanty, or didn't come at all. "What exactly are you looking for?" "Red clover, perhaps," Annie said, "and nettle and yarrow, too, I think." She paused, frowning. "I'm sure there's something else, but I can't quite remember." "Ah!" Mrs. Crow picked up her ball of yarn and pushed her needles into it. "You and your husband are wanting a baby?" "Yes," Annie said, relieved that she wouldn't have to go into a long explanation. Mrs. Crow stood up. "I think I have what you're looking for, my dear. Of course, there are no guarantees, but we can try to give nature a bit of a boost." A little later, Annie was on her way home with a large paper packet of dried herbs. On it was written, "Red clover, nettle, evening primrose, chasteberry, yarrow. Pour boiling water over a spoonful in a cup and steep for 15 minutes. Drink twice a day."